So today we're going over 6.4. 6.4, the inverse triangle. So here, the inverse triangle function and right triangle. By the way, so the inverse triangle function. So first things, we have to know the sine and cosine and the tan function are periodic function, so is not one-to-one function. This is mean I cannot find the inverse for these functions. So to find this inverse for these functions, I have to restrict the domain. I mean, for restricting the domain, I have to change the domain for this function to make this function is one-to-one and to find the inverse for them. So, but until now, you have to know just these things. You have to know the sign of sine inverse for the x equal y. So this is mean the sine of y, take inverse for both sides, sine of y equal x. Okay, so the sine of y equal x. Second things, you have to know the same things for the cosine inverse of x equal y. This is mean the cosine of y equal x. And the same things for the tan inverse of x equal y. Same things for tan of y equal x. And also you have to know the domain and the range for these functions. So here I can set function domain and the range. So the function for sine here, starting by sine function. The domain of the sine function, it's from -1 to 1. And the range supposed to be from -π/2 π/2. Also for the cosine function, this is the sine inverse, sorry. Here the cosine inverse, the domain will be the same things from -1 to 1. And the range supposed to be from 0 to y. For the last one is the tan inverse. The domain must be all R, anything I can plug inside this function. The range is -π/2 to π/2, but open parentheses. So I'm going to give you example to explain what does that mean here. Okay, example. So example, find the value for the sine inverse of square root of 3 over 2. Number 2, sine inverse of 5 over 2. Number 3, the cosine inverse of negative 1 over 2. So I'm going to do the first one step by step, how to find the sine inverse of square root of 3 over 2. So to find the sine inverse by using this here, the first property, sine inverse of x of the angle equal y, this is mean the sine of y equal x, equal this value. So I'm going to apply this formula so I can, before applying these things, I have to check. I have to go to the domain. The domain of the sine must be between negative 1 and 1. So I have to plug here, I have to check, is this value between negative 1 and 1? Is square root of 3 over 2? Is belong to the domain is negative 1 to 1? So first things I have to check the domain. Is the value between negative 1 and 1? So what is the value for square root of 3 over 2? This value, it's like less than 1. Why? Because the square root of 3, it's like around over 2, is close to the 1/2. Close to the 1/2. So this means this value is between negative 1 and 1. So this is true, yes. This is mean I can find the sine inverse for this value. So I can find sine inverse of this value. Why? Because this value is belong to the domain of square root of 3 over 2. So this is the first step. First step, I have to check, is the value between negative 1 and 1? If yes, so I can find the value. Now, second step, I have to apply these properties. Sine inverse of x equal y, this is mean sine of y equal x. So second things, I have to say it like this. Sine inverse of square root of 3 over 2. This is equal y. So my goal right now to find the value for y. So I can set sine of y equal this value. Such that this y here, supposed to be y belong to the range between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. So y here supposed to be from negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. What is the value if I plug it here? They give me the square root of 3 over 2. So I have to ask myself which value if I plug it inside the sign from the table before. If I plug that value, they give me the square root of 3 over 2. Such that this value must be between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. What is the mean of negative pi over 2 and pi over 2? Okay, I'm going to explain what does that mean. So suppose this is my quadrant. So negative pi over 2 and pi over 2, this is mean the angle will be like from 0 to negative pi over 2. This is negative pi over 2. And pi over 2 means from 0 here to pi over 2. This is pi over 2. So the angle would be from the 0 to pi over 2 or from the 0 to the negative pi over 2, like this. So my question is, what is the value if I plug it here inside the sign? They give me square root of 3 over 2. So the y from the table previous should be pi over 3. Because sine of pi over 3 is the square root of 3 over 2. And this value is belong to this value. to the range of the sine inverse. So y equal pi over 3, because sine of pi over 3 is the square root of 3 over 2. This is equal like 60 degree if you want it in degree, but we're not going to use it in degree. So this is my answer. So the answer for this sine inverse of square root of 3 over 2 is pi over 3. This is equal pi over 3. Any question? Any question for this?
Yeah, Professor,
Yes.
I'm kind of confused of how you went from sine -1 parentheses the square root 3 over 2. I'm confused you went from there to pi over 3.
To pi, where, which
The
step?
top,
Here?
yeah.
Which step again? From here?
Step 1, yeah.
First step, I have to check, is this value here, this one, is this value between -1 and 1? How I know? From here, from the domain. Sine inverse of the function, the domain is between -1 and 1. So I have to check, is square root of 3 over 2 is belong to this value? So the answer is yes. Why? Because this value is like around 1/2. So I can find the inverse. Second step, I have to use this properties. Sine inverse of x equal y, so sine of y equal x. So sine inverse of this value, I make it equal y, the answer. So sine of this y equal this inside. Now I ask myself, what's the value for y? If I plug it inside the function, they give me this value. So I have to go back to the table I gave it last time to check which value. If I plug inside the sign, they give me square root of 3 over 2. So the value is the pi over 3. And this value must be belong to the range. The range is between -pi over 2 and pi over 2. I mean, for these things, if I go to the 0, -pi over 2 like going clockwise, but pi over 2 are going like counterclockwise, like this. So the angle must be between this and this. Okay?
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
So now for second one, sine inverse of pi over 5 over 2.
I have a next question, but it's not about this.
Yes.
Do we have a quiz today?
Yes.
Okay.
So sine inverse of 5 over 2, I have to check step by step. So the first step is 5 over 2 belong to the interval from -1 and 1. What is the answer? What is 5 over 2? It's like around 2.5. Is belong to the interval from -1 and 1?
Oh, no.
No, the answer is no. So no value for these things, undefined. So sine inverse of 5 over 2, undefined. No value. Can you go back to the table? Yes, here.
Thank you.
So the value for the second one is undefined. Why? Because 5 over 2 is not belong to this interval. Third one. Cosine inverse of -1/2. Third, cosine inverse of -1/2. So again, I have to check step by step. The first step is -1/2 belong to the domain. What is the domain? This is from -1 to 1. Is belong to the -1 and 1? Yes, because -1/2 is belong to this interval. So the answer is yes. Yes. So this is mean the cosine inverse of 1 -1/2 has a value. So cosine inverse of -1/2 has a value. Now, second step, you have to use these properties. Cosine inverse of x equal y. This is mean cosine of y equal x. So cosine inverse of -1/2 equal y. This means the cosine of y equal -1/2. Again, the y here must be belong to the range from 0 to pi. Range. So to find the value, I have to go over like this. So to find the value, I have to do something like this. I ask myself, what is the value for the cosine of 1/2? I forgot the minus. Why? Because the minus is telling me which quadrant for y. Will not help me just for the quadrant. So which value, if I plug it inside this, the cosine, I get 1/2 only.
pi/3.
pi/3. So here I can say y reference is not y exactly. Y reference is pi/3. Okay, so now I go over here and I remove, I get the minus. Which value for y? This is y reference. Last time I gave you the reference table too. Which value for y such that it's between 0 and pi? I mean, like it's supposed to be like the angle. If I graph the quadrant like this, the angle from 0 to pi/2 will be positive, but I don't need it positive, I need it negative. So it's supposed to be from here to here, the angle. The angle must be in the second quadrant, will be here, in this quadrant. So which angle in the second quadrant has reference pi/2, pi/3?
Is it 2 pi/3?
2 pi/3. This is my answer for this question. So I have to find the reference, because the reference, like they give me the answer without the sign. They give me the answer like this, without the sign. So I hide the sign. Then I have to remove this one and I find it with the sign. The sign, they tell me which quadrant. So the quadrant is in second quadrant. Last time I gave you the reference with the quadrant. So for the reference pi/3, for the second quadrant, the angle will be 2 pi/3. And this is my answer for the cosine inverse of -1/2. Any question?
Wait, I'm sorry. How did you get 2 pi? I'm sorry.
Yes. It's clear?
No, I said, how did you get 2 pi? I'm sorry.
Okay. So let me do it step by step, fast. So until here. So the cosine of y equal -1/2. The negative means the quadrant, the angle in the quadrant. So I'm going to hide this negative. I find the y reference. Y reference, this is mean the angle in the first quadrant, which y reference, if I plug it, they give me the positive 1/2. Forget the minus. So y reference is pi over 3. So if I plug here pi over 3, they give me 1/2 positive. But the question is find for the negative. So for the negative, I need the angle between 0 and pi, but will be like greater than, like this is from 0 to pi. So the angle must be in the second quadrant. The second quadrant from the table last time, if the reference is pi over 3, so the angle must be 2 pi over 3. So let me give you the table again. So here table says if the angle reference is pi over 3, so in the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant, the angle in the first quadrant would be pi over 3. Second quadrant is 2 pi over 3. Third quadrant would be like 4 pi over 3, and here would be 5 pi over 3. So these angles, all of these angles here, all of this and this one and this one and this one has a reference pi over 3. But the different, this angle in the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. So I need, so here in the question, they told me the reference is pi over 3, but I need the angle in the second quadrant. So the reference is pi over 3, the quadrant, the angle in the second quadrant must be 2 pi over 3. This one. This is from the last previous class. If you do review, you will memorize all these things. So now I have another things we have to note in this section is finding the angle. So example, find the angle theta in the triangle showing in the figure 2. The figure. So suppose I have a right triangle like this here. And this triangle has theta like here. This value here is square root of 3. And the value for the hypotenuse is 2. The question is find, so they told me the sine of theta. They give me sine of theta equal square root of 3 over 2. The question is find the value for the angle. So the question is find the value for this theta. So first of all, to find this value for this theta, I have to graph right triangle like this. So the sine of theta equal pi over 3 over 2. This is mean the hypotenuse, I mean like the opposite over the hypotenuse. So the opposite is the square root of 3. The value from here to here is the square root of 3. Over the hypotenuse is 2. The value from here to here is 2. The question is find the value for theta. So by using this section, the inverse, I have to take the sine inverse for both sides. So when I take the sine inverse for both sides, I mean like sine inverse of sine theta equal sine inverse of square root of 3 over 2. So now sine inverse where the sine is cancelling each other, so I get theta equal the sine inverse of square root of 3 over 2. So which angle, I go back here again, I go back to this, to the given. Which angle, if I plug it inside the sine, they give me the answer square root of 3 over 2. Look, here is positive. So this is mean the angle must be in the first quadrant because the sine, like I mean, the value for theta should be belong to the range is between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. So this is pi over 2, and here the negative pi over 2. The sign in this quadrant is positive, but the sign in this quadrant is negative. So this means the value for the sign must be in the first quadrant. So which value, if I plug it here, they give me the square root of 3 over 2. Again, this is from previous section, previous class, by using the table. Check which value, which angle, if I plug it inside the function sign, they give me the square root of 3 over 2. Here theta should be in first quadrant. Why? Because it's positive. So what is the value for theta if I plug it inside the sign? So if you go back to the table, you will see the theta must be pi over 3. Because sine pi over 3, they give me positive square root of 3 over 2. So this is mean here theta must be pi over 3. So this is the answer. Again, step by step. To find the theta, you have to check the inverse. Take the inverse for both sides. This with this, they cancel each other. So I get theta equals sine inverse of square root of 3 over 2. Theta must be between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. Why? From here. The sign, the range must be between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. So theta should be in the first quadrant, this quadrant. Which value, if I plug inside the sign here, I get square root of 3 over 2. Must be pi over 3, because sine pi over 3 is square root of 3 over 2. So the angle here, it is pi over 3. Any question? Any question? Is it clear? Okay. No questions. There is another example. So one student, he asked me, some student asked me for this example. It's in the website question. It's similar to this question. The question is find sine of sine inverse of 3 over 5. So to solve something like this, we have to let the value inside the cosine equal theta or equal any angle. So I can set here, let the angle theta equal the sine inverse of 3/5. Okay. So now I have to find the value for theta. So I have to take the sine for both sides. So sine of theta equal, take the sine for this side, they give me 3/5. So first things, let this things here theta. Theta equal the sine inverse of 3/5. Take the sine for both sides, I get sine of theta equal 3/5. Now I go to graph a triangle. This triangle will help me to solve this question. So the angle of is theta, be like here. The sine of theta is 3/5. 3 is the opposite over hypotenuse. So this value is 3 and this value is 5. Now we have to find the value for x from here to here. So to find the value for x, we have to use the Pythagorean. It says x square, this one square, plus 3 square equal this one square, 5 square. So I get x square plus 9 equal 25. I have to find the value for x. So x equal, subtract 9 from both sides. 25 minus 9 is 16. So x squared equals 16. Now we take the square root for both sides. I get x equal, square root of 16 is 4. So the value for x here equal 4. So now I get the value for this side is 3, the value for this side is 5, and the value for this side is 4. So now it's easy to find the cosine of theta. So I can set cosine of theta equal the adjacent over tangents. This is equal 4/5. And this is the answer for my question. This is our sine question. So the cosine of sine inverse of 3/5 is 4/5. So the value here is 4/5. Any question? Anyone has a question?
Let's say that the numbers are different and there's x comes out to be like a square root, like square root of 7. Do you just leave it like that, just like 4
Yes.
over square root of 7?
Yes, exactly. If this is square root of 7, keep it like this, 4 over square root of 7. You don't have to use the calculator. Okay, so let me repeat it fast. So first of all, you let this one as angle theta equals sine inverse 3/5. This is my theta. Take the sine for both sides. So sine of theta equal sine of sine inverse is cancelled each other. So get 3/5. Now you graph a triangle like this. The sine is actually equal opposite over hypotenuse. So this is equal 3 and this is equal 5. Now we have to find the value for this side. To find the value for this side, I have to use the Pythagorean theorems. Pythagorean theorem said x square plus 3 square equal 5 square, like here. So x square plus 9 equal 25. Subtract the 9 from both sides, I get x square equal 16. Take the square root for both sides, I get x equal 4. It's 4 and negative 4, but I have to remove the negative because the side always positive. The length always positive. Now to find the cosine of theta is equal adjacent over the hypotenuse. The adjacent for the angle is 4 over 5. And this is my answer. Any question? If inside of cosine sine, it was sine cosine. The same idea. If sine cosine, the same idea. Can you give me the question, Chris? Exactly what is the question? What is the cosine question?
So it says to find sine, cosine, but it has to do like the negative exponent, -1 exponent.
Cosine of what? -1?
Yeah, -1.
-1 like this, right?
Oh no, it says like the cosine, and then it has like the -1 exponent on top of it.
Inverse. Okay.
Yeah, inverse.
Okay. For what? For which value?
5 over 13.
5 over 13. Like this, right?
Yeah.
So this is the question from Weber sign again. The same idea. So you said theta equal the cosine inverse of 5 over 13. Okay. Now you take the cosine for both sides, so I get cosine of theta equal cosine inverse, they cancel each other, so I get 5 over 13. Now 5 over 13 is actually the opposite. I mean the adjacent, sorry, because the cosine here adjacent over hypotenuse. So I go to graph like triangle, right triangle like this. Okay, and this is my theta. This is my theta here. And I have the cosine of theta is 5 over 13. So the value from here to here is 5. And the value from here to here is 13. So I have to find the value for x. Again, by using the Pythagorean theorem, 5 square plus x square equal 13 square. 5 square is 25 plus x square equal 13 square is 136, I think. Let me check. 100. Yes, 169. I mean 169. So 169. Subtract the 25 from both sides. Like x square equal 169 minus 25. They give me 144. Take the square root for both sides, x equal 12. So the value here for x is 12. Now the question is sine of this theta. So my question now is sine for the theta, this theta, for theta, sine of theta. So the sine of theta from the triangle here is equal the opposite over hypotenuse. So what is the opposite? Is 12 over 13. And this is my answer for this question. So sine of cosine inverse of 5 over 13 is 12 over 13. Any question?
I have a question about the Pythagorean theorem. Is it always sorry, is it always hypotenuse
Yes. Okay, let
has the
me.
equal sign?
Okay, so let me write the formula for the Pythagorean theorem. So suppose I have a triangle, right-hand triangle like this. So the Pythagorean theorem says, and suppose this is my angle, theta. This is the opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. So Pythagorean theorem said, for the theorem, said adjacent square plus the opposite square always equal the hypotenuse square. This is the formula. Okay.
All right, thank you.
So this is always the formula for the Pythagorean theorem. The adjacent square plus the opposite square equal this one square.
How do you do one like the web assigned the first question when it's just the theta
one?
given and then one of them?
This one. This is the question. This will.
No, there's one on the homework that it's only the theta given as well as the, I believe it's opposite.
Can you give me the question? I don't know what is. Can you give me the question? What is it?
Yeah, the opposite is 34 and the theta is I think 45. I need to pull it up. And they want you to find x,
Theta is.
which is the adjacent x. They want you to find the adjacent.
Okay. What is the
That is 45 degrees.
45 degrees like this?
Yeah, that's how.
And what is the opposite? They give you the opposite.
34.
34. And what is the hypotenuse?
It's not given.
It's not given. And what is the adjacent? Is given.
It's just x, and they want you to solve for x.
Okay. So to solve a question like this, you have to graph like the theorem of the triangle, right triangle like this. Okay. So the question, they give me the angle. The angle is 35 degree, 45 degree. This is my 45 degree. The opposite, they give me 34. The question is find the value for x. So I can use the function, the ratio function, the tan function. The tan function says the tan of 45 equal the opposite over adjacent, right? And they give me the opposite is 34. And the adjacent, I need to find it, put x. Now, tan of 45 is given from the table. I give it last time, I think. So the tan of 45 is 1 equal 34 over x. Now do cross multiply this by this, here actually over 1, and this by this. So I get now x times 1 is x equal 34 times 1 is 34. So the value for x here is 34. I hope I answered your question.
No, I got it now. I just wasn't sure when there's not like two sides given.
Yeah. So if they give you like the angle and one side, you can use the angle to find the other sides. Now I can find this value. Why? Because the value for this by using the Pythagorean theorem. 34 square plus 34 square, then I take the root. So the value for here by using the Pythagorean theorem. Any other questions? Okay, now, but this section is finished. So we finish chapter. This is the only question that we needed. This is the only example we needed in this section. And the inverse is easy. Just you have to memorize 1, 2, 3. This properties 1, 2, 3, and you have to know the domain and the range. You do the same step like first example. For any question, just do the same steps, and you have to memorize the table for inference for the reference from last time, and you have to use the table also. You memorize the table for the any like the sine, cosine, tan, the ratio function for any function for any angle mean from the table before. Now we have now we're going to the last section in this book, in this material, is 10.1, the system of linear equation of two variables. System of linear equation in two variables. So what does that mean of system? System means like, suppose I have, for example, equation like this, 2x minus y equal 5. And the second equation is x plus 4y equal 7. So the system means like set of equations, but these equations are linear. So as we see here, this equation, the first one, is linear, and the second one, the same thing, is linear. Why? So because the linear equation, like I said, 4 is of the form a equal ax plus b. A is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So this one here has a form like this one, because we can like subtract the 2x from both sides. So I get minus y equal 5 minus 2x divided by minus. So this is linear. Same things for the second one is linear. So today we're going to learn how to solve system like this, how to find the value for x and the value for y. So the first method we're going to learn is the substitution method. So here, substitution method. This is the first method for solving a system of linear equation. So this method has some steps. First step is, steps are like this. So first things, we have to solve for one variable. Second step, we have to substitute. Third step, we have to back and substitute again. Okay, let's apply these steps for this equation here. For the example now, example. So the example the same like this equations. 2x minus y equal 5, x plus 4y equals 7. So this is first equation. This is second equation. So solve for one variable. You have to choose one of the equation. Which equation would you like to use? Pick an equation, 1 or 2.
2.
2. Okay, I'm going to use 2. So by using equation number 2, this one, I'm going to solve for one variable. So I'm going to solve it for x, because x is easier. So x plus 4y equals 7. Now I'm going to solve it for x. I mean, like, I have to make x equal the equation. So to make the x equal, I have to subtract 4y from both sides. I get 7 minus 4y. Again here, minus 4y minus 4y from both sides. This canceling each other, I get x equals 7 minus 4y. Second step is substitute. So I'm going to substitute this equation inside the first one. So this is my equation now. Substitute inside the first one. So my equation, the first one is 2x minus y equal 5. I need to plug this one inside this one. And I need to plug inside the x here. X equal 7 minus 4y. So I get 2 times 7 minus 4y minus y equal 5. So this is my second step. So this is my first step here, number 1. Number 2. Okay, now distribute the 2 inside the parentheses. I get 14 minus 8y minus y equal 5. So I solve it for y. So here minus 8 minus y is minus 9. Y plus 14 equal 5. Subtract 14 from both sides. This cancelling. Get minus 9. Y equal minus 9. Subtract, so divide both sides by minus 9. So I get y equal 1. And subtract, divided by minus 9, divided by minus 9. So the value for y is equal 1. The last step is back and substitute. So I'm going to back to choose one of this equation and plug the 9 inside. I mean, like, plug the 1 here, the value for y, inside one of this equation. So I'm going to choose again equation number 1. You can use 2, whatever you want, but I'm going to use the 1. So plug this one inside the equation number 2. This step number 3. Equation is 2x minus y equal 5. Plug y equal 1. So here I get 2x, this equation number 1. 2x minus 1 equal 5. So now add 1 for both sides, I get 2x equal 6. Divide by 2, x equal 3. This is the value for x. So the solution is 3 and 1. Any question? Any question? Is it clear how to use the substitution method?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's easy, just using the steps. Solve for one variable, substitute, back again, and substitute. So second method is called the elimination method. Elimination method. So here another method is called the elimination method. Elimination methods. Again, this method has steps. Same step, but some difference. Here is the steps. First step is to adjust the coefficients, then add the equation, then back and substitute. Example for that. So I'm going to use the same equation, 2x minus y equal 5, 2x minus y equal 5. This is first equation. And the second equation is here, x plus 4y equals 7. X plus 4y equal 7. So first things, I have to adjust the coefficient. So you have to ask yourself, which value would you like to cancel? Which value would you like to eliminate? Which variable, the x or the y? So if I want to work in the x, I want to eliminate the x. So I have to cancel the x by the x by doing adjustment for the coefficient for the second equation. So when I cancel the y, I have to do some steps to cancel the y or to eliminate the y. So I'm going to eliminate the x variable. So to eliminate the x variable, I have here 2. I have to change the coefficient for this one. I have to make it minus 2. I have here coefficient 2. Here I have to make it minus 2. So to make it minus 2, I have to multiply everything, all the equation, by minus 2. So now my new equation is, so this is the same equation. My new equation is minus 2x. I distribute the 2. Minus 2 times 4 is minus 8y equal minus 2 times 7 is minus 14. So this is my third equation. Now I have to add 1 to 3. So actually this is the first step here. First step. This is step number 1. Step number 2, add the equation. So here, step number 2, add the equation. I'm going to add equation 1 to equation number 3. So 2x minus y equal 5, and minus 2x minus 8y equal minus 14. So adding the two equations. So when I add two equations, 2x minus 2x, they cancel each other. Minus y minus 8y is minus 9y. Equal 5 minus 14 is minus 9 again. Now I have to find the value for y, so dividing both sides by negative 9. So here by minus 9, minus 9. Cancel each other here, so I get y equal 1. Third step, back and substitute. So I have to back and substitute the 1 for one of the equation, 1 or 2, whatever I need. So third step, I have to plug the 1 inside equation number 1 or 2, whatever I want. So I'm going to choose equation number 1. So my equation is 2x minus y equal 5. I need to plug inside this y 1. So now I get 2x minus 1 equal 5. Solve it for x. So I add 1 for both sides. Add 1 for both sides. I get 2x equal 6. Divide by 2, x equal 3. So the solution is 3 and 1. Any question? So the elimination method is clear.
The first step, y negative 2 again?
The first step, y multiplied by negative 2. So here I want to cancel or I want to eliminate the x variable. So for the first one is 2x minus y equal 5. Here I have x plus 4y equals 7. So to cancel the x variable, I have to multiply by the negative of this coefficient, or I have to make the coefficient of x is the same like this one, but in negative.
Got it.
Well, this one here, the coefficient is 1. So I have to multiply by negative 2. When I multiply by negative 2, I have to multiply all the equation by negative 2. So I get negative 2x, negative 8x, and negative 8y, negative 14. Now I have 2x and negative 2x. So now they cancel each other. They eliminate each other. So they canceling each other here. Now we do like the addition. Minus y minus 8y, they give me minus 9y. 5 minus 14 is minus 9. Now we find the value for y. After we found the value for y, I need the value for x. So I back and substitute for one of the equation, 1 or 2. So I plug it inside the first equation. After I plug it, I find the value for x. And this is my solution, 3 and 1.
Is there ever a question why you would pick one over the other method, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I can choose pick 1 or I can pick 2. So you can plug y equal 1 inside this one, or you can plug it inside this one. Doesn't matter. Both of them, they give me x equal 3. Okay. So here is the second method, is the elimination method. The third method is the graphic method. We're not going to use this method. Just the only two methods we have to use it is the elimination and the substitution and the elimination. This is the method how to solve the system, linear system. But the question in the exam is not like this. The question is by using the modeling with a linear system. So I'm going to use the modeling. I mean, like, I have to create this equation. After I create it, I have to solve by using this method. So the question in the exam comes like, the method is like this. It's called by using the modeling with linear system. And to solve the modeling of linear system, we have to use this method. So now modeling with the linear system. So there is a step for the modeling linear system. For example, this is the step. So let me define the steps. Here is the steps. So first step, I have to identify the variables, express all unknown quantities in terms of the variables, set up a system of equations. After I set up the system of the equation, I have to solve the system by using the method, substitution method or the elimination method. So I'm going to give you examples for these things. So example number 1. So here, example. Okay, who will read this example? Who will read this example? Anyone want to read this example?
A vintner fortifies wine that contains 10% alcohol by adding a 70% alcohol solution to it. The resulting mixture has an alcoholic strength of 16% and fills 1,001 liter bottles. How many liters of the wine and of the alcohol solution does the vintner use?
Okay, exactly. So the question in the exam comes like this. So first step, I have to identify the variables. So first things, I have like the maker for the alcohol. He has like small bottle like this. Suppose this is my bottle here, like this. So this is my bottle. Okay. So inside this one, it has alcohol and alcohol solution. So I have inside alcohol, and also I have alcohol solution. So this is alcohol solution. So first step, I have to identify the variable. So I'm going to suppose X is my alcohol. Inside this barrel, and suppose my Y is my alcohol solution. Alcohol means the wine. So first step, I have to identify the variables. So identify the variables. Inside the bottle has alcohol, and it has also alcohol solution. Now we have to express all unknown quantities in terms on the variables. This is mean, then I have to set up the system of the equation. So if I read the question again, here, they said 10% of alcohol by adding a 70% alcohol solution to it. The result mixture has an alcohol strength of 16% and fills what? 1001 liter of the bottle. So I have 1000 of what? Of alcohol plus alcohol solution. So I can say alcohol, it's X, plus alcohol solution is Y. The value for this is 1000 liter. Again, this is my first equation. And also, if I read it again, the question, they told me this vendor, you want to make like different kind of alcohol. He add 10% of alcohol. So I can say 10% times X alcohol and 70% of alcohol solution. So plus 70% times Y alcohol solution. The result mixture has an alcohol strength of 16% and fills 1000. This is mean it equal 16% times 1000. And this is my second equation. Now I can set up this equation and make it more nicer. Instead of 10% like this, I have to make it like numbers. And here is the first equation. So I can set my first equation will be look like X plus Y equal 1000. And my second one is 10 over 100 X, because I can, like, if I keep it percent, I cannot find the value for X. So I have to set up all the system, plus second one is 70%, like I mean 70 over 100, Y equals 16%, 16 over 100 times 1000. So this is my first equation. This is my second equation. For the second equation, I can simplify it more. I can set here the 100 cancel with this. They give me like 10 only. Here the 10 with the 10. Here 0 with 0, they canceling. So now I get like I can set this is equal 1 over 10 X plus 7 over 10 Y equal 16 times 10 is 160. I can also simplify it more this by multiplying everything, because I don't need a fraction, multiplying everything by 10. So I can get another equation is 1 over 10 times 10 is 1. So I can get X plus 7Y equal 1600. And this will be my second equation. Up to here, everything is fine. Is it clear? So first step, I have to identify the variables. I have to set x equal alcohol, and y equal alcohol solution. And if I read the question again, they told me alcohol and alcohol solution is 1000 liter. Before adding anything, has alcohol as, like, it has 1000. This bottle has 1000 liter of alcohol and alcohol solution before I add, or before this vendor defining to this this wine. So x plus y equal 1000. After he adding something, so I get 10,000 of alcohol. This is mean 10% of alcohol. 10% times x plus 70% of alcohol solution equals 16% of all the mixture, 1000. For the second step, I need to like make the equation more nicer. So I like divided by 100, like 10% means 10 over 100. Then I simplify, so I get the second equation like this. So my first equation is this one, my second equation is this one. Now I can use any method I want. Which method would you like to use? Substitution or elimination? Which method would you like to use to solve this equation?
Elimination.
Elimination. Okay, let's using the elimination by using elimination method. So the elimination method says I have to cancel one of the variable. So I have here x plus y equal 1000. Here I have x plus 7y equal 1600. So I'm going to cancel the x variable. So my first equation is x plus y equal 1000. The second one is x plus 7y equal 1600. So to cancel the variable x here, I have to multiply everything by -1. So if I multiply everything here by -1, I can cancel the x when I add these two equations. So I get now x, -x, -7y equal -1600. So this is equation number 3 now. This is equation number 2. This is equation number 1. Now I have to add number 1 to number 3 to cancel the x variable. So this is first step. Step number 1. Step number 2. X plus y equal 1000 minus x minus 7y equal minus 1600. So I add x with the x, they cancel. I get y minus 6, 7y is -6y equal 1000 negative minus 1600 is 600 negative. Divide by -6, get y equal 100. Third step, I go back to which of the equation and I substitute. Step 3, by using the first equation, so plug the 100, so I get x plus y equal 1000. Here inside this y, I have to plug 100. So let me do here, step 3. x plus y equal 1000, x plus, so my y is 100, equal 1000. So x, subtract the 100 from both sides, I get 900. This is the value for x, so the solution is 900, 100. Any question? Any question? Anyone has a question? Okay, another example. The last example. Here. So the last example for the quiz. Who will read this question? Who will read it?
I can read it. The
Yes.
sum of two numbers is twice the difference. The larger number is 3 more than twice the smaller. Find the numbers.
So I have two numbers. The sum of these two numbers is twice their difference. So, and the large number is 3 more than twice the sum, smaller. So I can define here x is the large because they said about large and small. Large number, and I can define y equals smaller number, small number. So the first thing I identify the variables. I have large number, I have small number. Step number 2, I have to read the question again. The sum of two numbers is twice their difference. So the sum of these two numbers, I can set x plus y. The sum of these two numbers is equal, means equal, twice their difference. Means like 2 times x minus y. The large number is means equal. So this is first equation, equation number 1. The large number is x equal 3 more than, like 3 plus more than twice the smaller plus 2 times y. Why is it smaller? So this is my equation number 2. So I have two equations now. First one, second one. So I'm going to use the substitution method to do this one fast. Then we go over the quiz. And by doing this example, we finish the material. So please do the web assigned questions for any question. So for the first one here, substitution method says I can plug this one inside the first one. So by using method. So plug equation number 2 inside number 1. So I get now 3 plus 2y, this inside x, plus y equal 2 times x is 3 plus 2y minus y. Okay, let me simplify. So I get here 3 plus 3y equal the 2 I have to distribute inside, but before I distribute it, I'm going to simplify inside. So I get 2 times 3 plus y. Okay, now I get here 3 plus 3y. This is equal, distribute the 2 inside, get 6 plus 2y. I get 3 plus 3y equals 6 plus 2y. Let me do it. 3 plus 3y equals 6 plus 2y. So it's easy now, it's a linear. I can like subtract 2y from this side to this side, or I move the 2y to the side. So I get 3 plus 3y minus 2y equals 6. And I can move the 3 to this side by subtracting 3 from both sides. So I get 3y minus 2y is y equals 6 minus 3 is 3. So the y value is 3. So the y, the small number is 3. So the value here is 3. Now to find the large one, just plug inside the second equation. So by using,
Don't you add 2y into 3y?
where?
No. No,
This
no,
one?
no,
I'm going to use this one.
no. I mean, in the previous, like,
Again. So this one here?
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you have to add?
So 3y minus 2y is y.
No, in the beginning, it was like 3
This?
plus 3y equals 6 plus. Oh, it's plus. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So here this one, I move it to this side. So I
Okay.
subtract it. Then from here, I move it to this side. Okay. So let me do it in the band here, like this. Sorry. Okay, let me do it step by step. So here I subtract 2y from both sides. So I get 3 plus 3y equal, minus 2y equals 6. I subtract 2y from both sides. Now, I subtract 3 from both sides. So here, minus 3 from both sides, I get 3y minus 2y equals 6 minus 3. Now, let me simplify. So 3y minus 2y is y, and 6 minus 3 is 3. This is what I did. Here, let me use this one. So y equal 3. Now, to find the value for x by using equation number 2, x equal 3 plus 2y. 3 plus 2y. Plug inside this y3. Get x equal 3 plus 2 times 3. Now I get 3 plus 6. This is equal 9. So the value for x is 9. X equal 9. The value for x here is equal 9. So the solution is 9 and 3. Okay? Any questions? Is it clear? So by this section, yes.
Are you able to do another example? Just one.
Because We don't have time right now. It's
Oh, okay.
7:37. So if you have like the website has a lot of questions, you can do it. If you have like confused, you can email me, or we can do like Zoom meeting. By the way, Thursday we have quiz exam number 3. Get ready for the exam number 3, and get ready right now for the quiz.